Olympic Winter Games.
Welcome everyone, it is Mario Man 2100 back again with the Road to Rio 2016 series, and I tell ya, that's the best intro of any of these games. I think that is the best intro they could make. Like, I mean, it's the best one. I think the music fits the way that it shows the events and all the characters in their glory. It's absolutely awesome. And I absolutely love it. And you'll know from the music that I actually did use it in the long intro. I know it's a long intro, but I couldn't make it really any shorter that could fit. But yes, I did use this opening music because it just fits the whole Olympic style of the game. So we're in Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games, which was the Vancouver 2010 release of the Olympic Games game thing. I love this game. This is my favourite one out of the whole lot, as I've said before. And there are a bunch more events that I do like of this game compared to the Summer Olympics. And I think this was actually one of the first Olympics that I really paid attention to. Like, I went to Sydney 2000 when I was a young boy. And I went, I wasn't really paying attention to many of the Olympics beforehand. Like Salt Lake City's always a momentous occasion when it comes to Australia because they won gold in the short track by Stephen Bradbury. It's definitely a highlight of our sporting nation. And I just think this was actually one of the first Olympics, if not the first one, that I actually really paid attention to. And I think it was just because this game was really that good that I actually really wanted to see how Vancouver really went with its Winter Olympic Games. And I think a part of that was actually because you could actually check out the weather during the Olympics for Vancouver at the time that this game came, like at the time the Winter Olympics were going on over there, which was nice. And I think that was definitely a little factor that I did like about the game. But I think ultimately this is one of the Olympics that I really paid attention to, and it was definitely the highlight. So we're gonna go straight into this after my debacle for probably about 2 minutes, I'm guessing. We're gonna go into Alpine skiing, which is not really an event that I really am good at. And as you can see, we have 5 characters in each type rather than the 4, because we got some new characters. We've got Metal Sonic, we've got Donkey Kong, who I'm surprised that they forgot in the first game and they put like Vector in and stuff like that, but I guess, they needed more Sonic characters. Bowser Jr. and of course Silver the Hedgehog, who I don't actually think is that bad. So let's actually go with Silver first. Now, okay, this part down here, this music track thing, we'll worry about that later because that's something that we can talk about later on. Alright, so you race through flag gates, miss gates, of course you get a time penalty, and the aim is to get the best time you can. Alright, hold it like ski poles. 3, 2, 1, starting dash. Turn them upwards to brake, downwards to push after. And ultimately it's to gain speed as well. And if you hit the inside of the gate, you get more boost. You got your special actions. Now, as you can see, Mario's is a spin. Like, I'm guessing Super Mario Galaxy, I think, is that type of thing. And you can only use it once. Now, this is the game that actually incorporates it, and we actually see it in every other game since then. And I think it adds a little bit of variety to each character, because it's not exactly the same for every character, and has some different capabilities in each event, so it's not necessarily the worst thing. I think it's ultimately just adds more difference to this game. So we've got to beat 1 minute 48, and yes, I'm still trying to get all the gold medals.
2, 1, go!
Now, skiing isn't my best event, so if I do bad in it, I'm sorry, but that's... Oops. I'm doing alright so far. I think there's 25 gates, I think, in full. No, 36, as it says on the top. And that's my record down the bottom there, I think, so... yeah, can't help that, unfortunately. Got good control with it so far, that's pretty good. Alright, I got halfway with it, that's pretty good. I haven't missed a gate yet, that's, and I say yet. But I just think this game is, ultimately, it's probably the best one out of the whole lot. Like, I haven't played Sochi enough to say yes. I was holding it up then. I was holding up my Wii remotes just to not go too wide. Alright, we're down home straight now. And there goes my time. And since his PSI, you know, he hovers for a little while. You get a bit of a speed boost. And I got that first go. I'm happy with myself because I haven't played these events, like Alpine skiing. I haven't played for a little while. I've done ski jumping. I've done short track. I've done some of the dream events before in years prior. I haven't played this game so far this year, so this will be my first playthrough of it. And I get a gold medal. And it fades to white, and then you get your gold medal there. Okay, this is interesting. You've got a shopping card which you can get for more costumes for your Miis and certain things for the game to make it a bit more stylized for your Miis. So let's go into Giant Slalom, which I think is the worst out of the two that I don't particularly like. Let's go Bowser Jr. Since we'll get through the new characters first, and then we'll worry about the other characters. I think this is a shorter track too, if I remember correctly. And I love the load screens. They're not as long as the first game, and I think like the cheering in the background gets you a bit hyped for the event that you're doing. I don't know. It's something. It's a mental process thing. So it's 1:03 I have to beat. So I think it's definitely a shorter track than the first like downhill.
3, 2, 1, go!
And it's 28. Oop, missed one. I think this one is more a technical course, so trying to stay in the middle of the lines is definitely a lot harder, because that's your best in the actual events. Staying in the lines gives you the best snow. Right, because you've got smooth snow and then you've got rough snow on the outside. And of course, if you go through the rough with your skis, you go by slower. So I would have ran alright. I missed one gate, which is okay. what can I say? I've played this game a lot. So I'll probably take maybe less attempts with some of these events than others. I don't know.
Tails!
Pretty good.
Knuckles! Not bad, I guess. Bowser Jr. Congratulations! Gold medal!
No. Maybe that is my fastest time, but I don't know.
Select sport.
Alright, let's dive into some ski jumping and we'll do individual.
Select character.
See, everyone's speed is pretty high in this game. I think it's the skill type and the power type is supposed to be slower. Let's use Metal Sonic, and I just noticed that his torso and that just screwed everything. Okay, so if I remember, it's down. You got to twist for the wind, and then jump at the end, and keep balance. That's 116 points. So it's 2 attempts. Gotta say that. Okay.
First try. Start.
Alright, it'll tell you where the wind is. Try to get it behind you as best you can. Metal Sonic is angry. This one I need to try again. Yeah, there's no way I'm winning. I have to get 200 points on one. I think the max you can get is like, I think 180 or something.
Second try. Start.
Now it's going against me. I'm gonna have to go now. I'm moving it up and it's not doing anything. Points. Wow. And see, it doesn't give you a screen like the Olympic Games.
First try. Start.
And down. And that's how it's done. I don't know how many points I'm going to get. Those skis you see are actually custom ones. You can actually design extra gear as well for your characters. Oh jeez. So like your skis, your bobsleigh, when we get to that later, your Miis, that sort of thing. So it's a little bit more customization in this game than the first game,
Second try.
definitely.
Start.
And I think it kind of continues that, not necessarily like design, like having decals on your gear But anyway, let's concentrate now. I'm moving it up too, and I don't know what it's doing. I'll try it with just the Wii remote, because I think that might change. Still came 8th. Time for a break, come on. I've only been playing for like 20 minutes. You can get by the menus quicker, which I think is definitely a benefit of the first game. Then the first game, I should say. It's probably as good as it can get. I think it's a bit better. I got the wind behind me at the end of it, which is good. So I probably would have got extra distance for it. Because I think landing and distance is what you get your points for. So if you don't get much distance and you stack, then you're not going to get the points for it, as you've seen. And if you get good meters but you don't land alright, then that's going to hurt your overall score, which I think is not necessarily a bad thing. I think it definitely sticks to the event pretty closely. That's as good as I'm going to get it. And I got pretty far there. I think that's almost a gold medal right there. Ooh, 155 points. Oh, I beat my record! Oh my god! I broke 300 points! Yeah! Yeah! Combat robot.